Hi, welcome back to the channel. My name's Rebecca, I'm 44 years old and I used to suffer from multiple sclerosis, but I no longer experience any of the symptoms since starting the carnivore diet nearly 2 years ago. In today's video, I did have a different topic planned that was more specifically related to the carnivore diet, but then I had the weirdest week ever. So I'm kind of emerging from this weird slump and I thought I would just do a quick update just about general life. So there's been two reasons for my slump. One is, as you may already know, that's my chicken. I've got a really noisy chicken out there. I love my chickens. What's wrong with her? So one of the reasons that I'm in a slump is because I have got, if you may have seen in my recent videos, I have got a foot injury, a suspected fracture, which means I can't drive, and it means I'm housebound and I'm reliant on other people to come and help me, which people have been coming to help me, so that's really lovely and I'm really grateful. My neighbours coming up twice a day to let the chickens out and then put them away again and give them water and food and collect the eggs. So I'm really grateful for that. And I've got a local taxi driver who's on call if I need to go to the supermarket. So that's lovely as well. And he's become a friend, so that's really nice. And then another guy, local guy that I'm getting to know, spending quite a bit of time with, he lives an hour and a half away. He actually drove over just to take me into town and he walked my dogs and then we went for a beer. And so I have been seeing people and people have been phoning and checking in on me. So that's great. So the foot situation hasn't been the end of the world. Also, I've got a volunteer workawayer coming on Sunday. So just a few more days, I will have a dedicated driver and I'll be able to just get on with life again. That will make a huge difference, and company. So that would be great. But then, of course, to add to the foot situation, there was also the great Spanish blackout that happened just over the past few days. So that's been interesting. So I happened to be in the supermarket when that happened, which is really, like, the chances of me being out and about when that happened were quite slim because of my foot. But I was in the supermarket and I was actually queuing up to pay when suddenly the lights went out. And at first everybody was just like, oh, okay, we'll just wait for it to come back on again, local power cut, right? But then word got round that it was a national power cut. It was all over the country, because actually we still had internet access. Normal phone calls you couldn't make, but on your mobile phone, your cell phone, but we did have WhatsApp and Telegram and access to internet news sites for the first few hours of it. So word got around pretty quickly that this is nationwide, and that kind of changed the atmosphere. But it wasn't anything too dramatic, to be honest. Nobody, and people were like, oh, is this like Russia? Is this something to do with Russia? What is it? What could it be? But nobody panicked. It wasn't a big deal. And the taxi driver, I couldn't get my shopping, so the taxi driver drove me back up home and he said, look, as soon as everything's up and running again, I'll collect your shopping and I'll bring it to you. I was like, that's wicked, thank you, I really appreciate that. And the power was out for about 8 hours, so by the evening it had come back on again. But by that point the internet was gone, and that didn't come back until just earlier today, so that was 2 days without internet. I'm an internet addict like everybody, but I'm also primed for a situation like this. I've got like a huge stack of books just in case I haven't got access to the internet. And so I've been reading Anna Karenina. I'm about 100 pages into Anna Karenina, which I never would have been if I'd had YouTube available to me. So I'm actually quite grateful for that. And once I'm into a book, I tend to stay reading it. It might take me a little while to get into it, to get hooked, but I'm hooked now. I've met all the major characters and I'm like, okay, what's gonna happen? So Anna Karenina, random. Yeah, so, and if you want any information about why I think the blackout happened, I don't know. I don't have any information or any particular theories that I favour over any others. I don't trust the world. I'm willing to believe anything, but I also don't like to jump into what I think it might be before I've sort of looked into further evidence. So, but yeah, it was a reminder that, you know, we should be prepared for situations like this, because, you know, whether or not there was anything sinister about it, we do live in a world which is full of highly complex systems, and it doesn't take much to bring those systems down. It's a good idea to have stuff in stock. Like I always make sure I've got enough animal food for like at least a week. And I also have bottles of water, like a whole load of bottles of water stacked up just in case the water goes off, you know, things like that, and a torch. And I also have a little stockpile of non-carnivore food just in case, like rice and beans and things like that. So I was really lucky though, because I have a gas stove, so I was able to make cups of tea the whole time. That would have been the worst thing, to not have access to cups of tea. I can survive anything if I have a cup of tea. And I also had in my house, because I couldn't buy my shopping, I was waiting in the till when the lights went down, so they couldn't ring my stuff through the till. I did have cash on me, but they couldn't ring it up, so I couldn't buy it. I was actually, you know, actually, that's not such a bad thing, because everything I was buying was carnivore, and it needed to go in the fridge, and my fridge was out, so I thought that's not such a bad thing that I didn't have all this meat that is now going to go off in the hot sun. It's so hot at the moment. So I actually had to have potatoes that night, because I had some old potatoes that were starting to sprout from when I last had people staying here earlier in the year. And so I had mashed potatoes for dinner. Okay, it wasn't carnivore, but needs must, and fine. Then the taxi driver came the next day with my shopping, and my fridge was back on, so that was really nice of him to do that. And so yeah, I would basically, all is well. And I have been in a weird like hole of not having contact with anybody and just reading and sunbathing, which sounds really nice, but actually it's really boring. And I'm just really keen to get on with my life again and go out. And what I really want to do, I've made a decision, because I think that the reason my foot is broken is from yoga, because it's extremely intensive. And it's the only thing I can think of that I've been doing that's sort of in any way out of the ordinary or put my body through any kind of duress is the yoga. So I want to stop doing the yoga, which is a shame, because I really like the teacher and I really like the people in the class, but I just don't want to put my body through that. Whether I've got osteoporosis from being perimenopausal, I don't know if that's another factor, or from my MS, I don't know, but I just think that what I really want to do is go swimming, because I love being in water. I love swimming, and I've been craving being in water. And there's an amazing like Olympic-sized swimming pool just a half-hour drive from me. So my new plan is to go swimming twice a week, early in the morning, and do about 40 lengths. So I swim like 1 kilometre, and I'm really looking forward to that, because exercise is part of the carnivore diet and I really feel the need for it. So, but it needs to be exercise that I like, and exercise that's kind on my body. And swimming, I think, is absolutely perfect. It's very therapeutic, but also it's like a whole body workout. I'm also, when I've got a driver again, when my volunteer comes and I've got wheels, I'm going to go to Decathlon and buy a cross trainer. You know, those gym equipment, those bits of gym, you know, those like bits of gym equipment where you have like a hand thing and you also have your feet going like that, and your arms are going like that. Like, I could do that all day. I love that. I love the cross trainers. So they're also low impact, and I'm thinking I could put it on the balcony, which would be quite cool to be doing that with looking at the mountains. So yeah, I'm going to get my exercise sorted out as soon as my foot is sorted, and I'm just so keen to be out and about and participating in life again. And I'm really glad that the electricity's back and the internet's back. And I will talk about the carnivore diet in the next video, I promise. All right, so I hope you guys are doing well wherever you are in the world. Take care. See you next time. Bye.